Hello, hello. We're on day 3 of the 100-day challenge. I'm trying something new. I'm not holding the phone. I'm going to keep it on the table. We're going to attempt it. We're going to see how long we can do this for. How are we doing today? Today I am understanding that when you're before a breakthrough, there's a level of pressure, a level of uncertainty, a level of unsureness, a level of confusion, a level of not chaos, but like a feeling of not balancing out. Even though the reason you're not balancing out isn't because of your situation so much, it's because of what's coming. And it's your knowledge of what's coming. It's like your body knows that your life is about to change, and it just can't sit still. It can't take on new stuff, and your brain just feels like I don't know. I'm trying to describe the feeling. I'm working on it. It's not a brain fog. It's not a brain fog. I'm conscious. I can think about things. I can think through things, but I'm not overwhelmed yet. I feel like there are many times in life where I feel that I have failed. And it's okay to fail. Failing is what you need in order to grow, get better, or do things well. That's not my issue with the failing. The thing is, when I'm close to an opportunity where I can get it right and like really get it right and like have momentum with the get it right and keep a good streak of getting it right, like it's not pressure, but it's this thought that, oh my God, you could actually do it. Like, and then that brings upon the planning. And this time I'm trying to plan, but I'm not trying to plan. So I want to create a contingency plan, like a idea of what I'm doing, idea of what I'm focusing on, idea of what I'm putting as my first steps, or my, not stepping stones, but kind of like, so I want to create a framework to live within in this next stage that I'm going to move into. And I don't want to box myself in. I want to give room for incidentals, crazy happenings, or even better, room for God. I want to leave room for God and room for whatever is meant to show up. Or because the thing is, I know that what's coming, I can't fathom, I can't properly, like, I don't want to limit it with my limited thoughts, my limited understanding, my limited ability to dream right now. I don't want those to limit what's coming. And I'm trying not to allow myself to get in the way of where I need to grow to, where I need to grow to, how I need to grow, what I need to focus on, what I need to look towards, what I need to, the way in which things need to change, right? So to be able to go to the next stage of life or the next whatever, you need to have room for it, right? It's like they say you can't put new wine in old wineskin, like it's gonna burst. And so I'm trying to prepare new wineskin, I guess, or like have that room or capacity for that change, and all the things that means, all the things that's gonna involve, and trying to like prepare in the ways I can prepare, and then the ways I can't prepare, just lean back and wait on it. And it's not that it's scary. Everything's always going to be scary. That's not my issue with this. It's just I guess it's the receiving it. I'm not anxious. I'm more like concerned that I may not be properly prepared, or that I may be leaving too much to chance, or that I may, or that my foreground plan needs more. Normally I would like call everybody, research like crazy, which I am, let me not lie. I'm researching a white toner printer right now in a level that's a lot much. I want a white toner printer. Why do I want a white toner printer? I have a DTF printer that uses liquid, and I got it off of Facebook. And this man told me a lot of lies. A lot of lies. And then in the listing, he had put the oven. I had my cousin pick it up. And because he knew my cousin didn't know what the listing held, he didn't give her the oven. He kept the box and everything this thing came in, except for the box he threw it into. I'm okay with all that. I ain't mad about none of that. What I was mad about was the oven that he didn't include. And when I reached out, he said, oh, it wasn't included, but I can give it to you. But here's the thing, he didn't have another DTF machine in that house. So why are you keeping the oven? But instead, he now offered the oven for more than it was on Amazon. And I'd already automatically, once he didn't, it took him maybe like 2 days to respond. By the first day he hadn't responded, I went on Amazon, clicked and purchased, baby. I was already, it was already clear this man had told me a lot of lies. Because the machine came, there was splatter paint, the ink was splattered all over in places where he barely used it. And he said he barely used it, and he said it works really well, and he just hadn't used it in a while. But the paint was so splattered that even like, so those DTF machines have like a place where the ink like goes to. That thing took hours of cleaning. I spent hours cleaning this thing before I realized that a lot of these things just needed a new purchase. Like, so the machine is one of those that you can purchase different parts and put it all together and then make it work again. And so I wasn't mad because the amount I paid for it was fine for me to do all that and still cheaper than buying a brand new one. So I wasn't mad about that. But the level of having to clean it just to get it up to par let me know that I don't think I want to maintain it like that. But then I thought that was the only option. Then I discovered white toner printer. And then I was like, wait, but why does no one talk about this? Why are there only videos from like years ago or like videos from the company? And why are the companies discounting the product so much? And then some people were like on the Facebook pages like, can you even find paper? Which I could, because I am a good searcher. Yeah, so good that Google loved me. But whatever. Yeah, I definitely found paper, tons of it, and good quantities of different kinds and different brands from all the different machines that are being sold, by the way. And if you can't find paper, then you are not a savvy person. And so then I can probably assume that that's why your machine didn't work. But let me not judge nobody because I don't have one yet. So I can't judge nobody. It could be the machine. We don't know yet. But I'm trying to figure that out. And I've been obsessing over that. So my obsessions these days are that white toner printer and all the information I can learn about it before I have to buy it. And then the next obsession is knowing what to say for these, preparing for these YouTube videos that I'm making and understanding what they are to me. I'm not on YouTube just to be on YouTube. It has a purpose. It has a real purpose. I'll tell you what the purpose is for me. The purpose is to, when I would talk to people in my Uber rides and when I talk to people in general in life, I seem to leave an imprint. And people yearn, want, desire the imprint. And I figured, well, if God's calling me to this medium, it's to leave that imprint again, but in an environment where it's helpful, where it's beneficial. I know a lot. I know a lot because of my nature of curiosity. I didn't spend childhood like most people. I spent childhood learning things and asking questions. Oh, I asked questions. If I wanted to make a teacher uncomfortable, I would ask everything in my brain. Some of them hated it, some of them loved it. Some of them used me as the tool to get all the other students interested in the class. That was good too. Good tool. For lack of a better word, I'll call myself, what's the new neurodivergent? I like that term better than ADHD. I have done no testing to these things. It's just, other than those AI online ones that get you every now and then, they try and teach you some like skill sets. And then you discover that it's the same people. They just want you to pay their subscription. Maybe they're helpful. I don't know. I'm not paying nobody's subscription. I subscribe to too many things already. Like, yo, can we like get one thing to pay for everything? Like, that is my goal. I want to create like kind of like a co-op where you go, a co-op is when you buy food together with other people from a farm or a butcher or something. But I gotta get off of here. So this video is going to be recorded in 2 parts because I'm trying to try a new church today. I know the pastor already. I knew him from a previous situation. And so I'm running to Bible study right now, and we will shoot the rest after Bible study because I have said I will make these appropriately length, and I will make sure that you get to know enough about me, and we get to actually talk, not just be like, here, bye, gone, here, 2 minutes in. No, like a real conversation where I am present and that I bring myself to the table. All of me, not the cute parts of me, but all of me. All right, so the second part, we'll have a different background, and that's how you'll know it's the second part. See you in a second. So here is the second part. I'd like to apologize if my audio is not better. I cannot find my headphones. I have searched. That's how I ended up in the car, because I was looking for the headphones. And I'm running out of time to film because I have an early morning tomorrow. More fun specialist doctor's appointments. And so I'm turning 45 soon. And so they're throwing the book at me. And they're like, yeah, 45. Look at it. Ain't it beautiful? Don't hate. Appreciate. Yeah, I know I don't look my age, and I just never have, and I don't think I ever will. My mother didn't look her age. My grandmother didn't look her age. Even to her death, you wouldn't know that woman was old enough to die. I remember telling her, you said time on you. What you playing? And she's like, no, I'm done. And I remember her telling me she was done with life. And I was like, baby, bye, you got time. But she didn't look her age. That's all it was. And we didn't actually know her actual age because her birth wasn't recorded formally. So, but my grandfather paid for some test to like know her age. And so that was the age they went off of, what the testing showed her to be at. Bone testing, that's what it was. I think they test your bone density. I think that's how that gets done. But anyway, I'll go back to the goals. The goals were, yes, giving that part of me that is filling and that is pouring back. So the way I've received, I want to give back in a way that others can receive from me. So Bible study, I got to go to that because that just, it ties in so well. Only God is the title of the series. And today was talking about how we are his light and feet. And that understanding of how it looks like in modern society, how it looks like carrying the tabernacle within you and carrying it everywhere you go and being that tabernacle, as opposed to when the tabernacle was in a building. Now it's in people. So as his armor bearers or his tabernacle carriers, the expectation of that carry. And I think that's what this is. I think that's why God called me to this medium, to be that. And when I say that, I know a lot of you have a religious understanding and think, oh my God, she's going to talk about Jesus in this way and that way. No, what he's calling me to be is to show you me. To show you me. to show you what I look like, to show you what my life with him looks like, to show you, like, I'm explaining that I'm about to go into a change of life that he's giving me notice of and he's preparing me for. That's showing you that's how I am, the tabernacle. I know it's like unreal for someone who doesn't understand and who might not live a life with Christ. I get that. But if you do live a life with Christ, it's understanding that he looks different in each one of us. He speaks to us differently. The conversation is different for each one of us, but it is united and it is one. And even though he's using us in different ways, we all feed in. It's like, I always think of it like Star Trek. It is Star Trek. In Star Trek, there's the hive, and the hive speaks as one. And you can communicate and say something to the hive, and all the parts of the hive can get that communication. And I feel like that's what the Holy Spirit is to us. Like, the Holy Spirit speaks to us individually, but it's one communication and it's still one movement. And sometimes in a church, you can actually see it physically happen. And sometimes in some situations too, you'll see it where someone was given an idea by the Holy Spirit, and that idea solved the problem that all the people in that environment were needing, wanting, or yearning for. If you're curious what this looks like and some of how this can happen, the Only God series has an Only God website, which is onlygod.cc. And on that website are all these Only God stories. So I can point you to that. I'll try and put a link in the bottom of the description sometime tomorrow or so. We'll see. Because I'm going to bed after I film this and post this. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this hang. And I think, so next week, what I did earlier today, I was at the library and I wasn't in a spot where I could film, but instead what I spent the time doing was reserving time Monday to Friday for the next 2 weeks. They have like a whole, that's another thing I'm realizing right now is I was watching a YouTube video for these vinyl girls earlier. Some vinyl company messaged me via text message, not email. I was like, oh, okay, we moving our game. And I was like, well, that's next level game. And if you're that willing to like find my information and message my phone, they're messaging my company, but through my phone. And I was like, well, that's kudos. I give you enough props that I'll click on your link and I'll see what you're about. While playing on their website, they have a lot of creators that promote their what they do. And Vinyl and Tool, I believe, was the name of the company. I'll put the link if I find it. And so these ladies were talking about the company and talking about, I'm in love with puff vinyl, but getting a good puff vinyl can be an angst, a real angst. But this one was metallic and puff, and I was excited about it. And so, excuse me. And so I followed the trail, the cookie trail, as you always do. Down to other videos and to other videos. And so these ladies were then they were promoting the brand and everything, and in that promotion they talked about maker spaces. And the lady like talked about how her maker space was doing all this stuff for her. And I thought, oh my God, the white toner ink printer could be at one of these maker spaces. And so I went looking for maker spaces that hopefully had a white toner printer. None. Everybody has 3D printers. They got wide format printers. They got all kinds of stuff. And which was exciting for me because I like the idea of making wood and all kinds of metal and all kinds of stuff. And they had like licensed places to do that. And in some cases, like for the metal and stuff, you would have somebody who's licensed watch over you while you do this stuff, which to me is like a heavenly place. Or a place where I find delight and comfort, right? And so I know that at some point I will invest in paying for a makerspace. But also know that your public libraries, if you're in the suburbs, some city ones can sometimes have makerspaces. But in Illinois, our suburban libraries all started creating maker spaces somehow. I don't even know who like started the trend, but it just became this thing where you're not a good suburban library if you do not have a 3D printer, a Cricut, a sewing machine, and staff to like teach people how to use these things, and a glow forge. A bunch of them have glow forges. Like, I'm like, yo. And they'll teach you how to make it. They have classes that are attached to it. And then they have time periods where you can go in and either work with the staff or work independently, and the staff just is in the room. And so a bunch of them also now have podcast studios. And I was like, yo, because I've always known I also wanted to podcast. And Glow, who is someone I watch on YouTube, and she's the reason why I started the 100-day challenge, by the way, Glow. Kudos to you, and kudos to your Nigerian heritage, because Nigerian too, and Nigerian American, let me say it accurately, I'm both. Regretfully or not regretfully, either way. But yeah, so that is going to be my forward movement once my daughter starts school next week. Actually, no, she starts school Tuesday, but I already reserved Monday, and she may be with me stuck in that little studio. We'll figure this out. I don't feel comfortable with her being off somewhere when I'm in a locked or closed door area. I know some parents are comfortable with such things, even though she does have a cell phone and she can be tracked. I'm still not comfortable. I'm that over-doting mother that I want control. I want full control at all times. I'm a control freak too, so maybe that's really what it is. It's not about the motherhood. It's just the control freak part of me. Who knows? Either way, so starting next week, there'll be like a formal Monday to Friday that will be that way. And then I need to decide whether or not I'm doing Sunday. And I know it's supposed to be 100 days straight posting, but I do not work on Sundays, and I do not function on Sundays. It's my day of rest. And I don't know, and I'm gonna pray about it some more. I still haven't heard the final on that, whether I can film on this Sunday, because technically this isn't work. Technically this is like a diary, if you think about it, of sorts. And so I need to look, and I'm not trying to be legalistic in my worship, but at the same time, I'm not also trying to leave what was requested of me by God. So, though he did ask me to film these, so he asked me to move myself into this space. And so maybe filming on Sundays is a real thing. You know, maybe that glow of that comes from after worship, that comes from the knowledge and the information that's imparted on me. Maybe this is where I get to talk about that with other people who might not know what it feels like after coming from church and processing the information and trying to see how to move that into your life and actively live what you just heard. You know, sermons aren't just to be heard. They aren't just to feel like you've done your Christian duty. No, they're supposed to motivate you to change, to growth, to movement, to what God has called you to do in your life. That's what a sermon's for, if you did not already know. No judgment. But living that out might mean me doing Sundays recordings. I don't know what that's going to look like, because outside of church on Sundays, I'm really free flow. There's no pattern, there's no rhyme to my day. It's just free flow. And I let God lead. He be leading. Some Sundays, things go down. So I don't know how that looks. We'll see. But it's been fun. I really enjoy these. I didn't anticipate how much I would enjoy these and how freeing they would be. I mean, there was a moment earlier today where I like kind of let it become almost a crutch. And then I had to say to myself, well, in anything you're doing that's new, there's going to be a difficult moment. And so I felt that was my difficult moment. And having that morning where I was still like, okay, well, there's a lot of light right now. This is good prime time for you to go record. But then like not yet having a shower, not yet deciding whether I want to record in the house, recording whether I want to record with all the noise of the house, whether I want to record in an environment where I can't control and where things might happen that I can't stop, and just getting over those hurdles, I think, are the biggest hurdles of doing this 100-day. It's the hurdles that you don't realize aren't hurdles, but you've made into hurdles. That is my biggest angst here. And yeah, so if you've ever felt the need to record YouTube videos and come to YouTube and you're stuck on those sillies, I will tell you that those sillies aren't worth it. They're not worth it. Don't even sleep on them. Don't even let them be your friend. Tell yourself the truth. You're looking for an excuse to hide. You're looking for an excuse to avoid doing what you know you need to do. And maybe that might be true for other things in your life other than YouTube. Or maybe you're going through a challenge of some other sort. So I learned 5 things tonight. Damn it. That's the problem of filming on the phone. I can't show you things. I think this is one of those where, I will toss it in. Yes. This app lets me do that. So I'm going to throw up in here the 5 things that he said were things that you needed to do to be able to play your part as someone who tells people about this Christian life, or someone who explains the Christian life to people. And I think those 5 things, honestly, they're more than that. They're 5 things that you should probably have incorporated into your daily life. They're more. And when you see the 5 things, I'm sorry, I don't have them in front of me, but I remember one of them was be courageous, and that's a basic life thing. And Jesus calls us to be courageous. And sometimes the courageous is being able to, seeing your next door neighbor always struggle to the door with all their stuff. And you're just close enough that you can actually assist, right? Being courageous enough to say, hey, can I help you? American society doesn't encourage that. Other societies do. American society doesn't, because sometimes people feel like, they have a motive, or they're going to rob me, or they're planning something, or they're trying to look into my house, or they're trying to be nosy, or they really want to know something else, or they're trying to get into my bed, or whatever excuse we all make when a neighbor comes a little too close, because I make them too. So I can't judge anybody about them, because in America, society makes you feel that way. Makes you feel as though someone's only coming close because they have a motive. Someone's only leaning in to assist you because there might be something else to it. But sometimes there really isn't anything else other than them wanting to really just help you. But how can you know if you're always guarded? How can you know if you don't even give room? Just saying. Godspeed. Until tomorrow. Let's do this together. Enjoy.